The peasantry tells stories of men and women coming back to life after the sin of committing suicide as horribly shaped monstrosities turned into a Nachzehrer. They're said to resemble gray-skinned devils that dig up graves with their claws and devour fresh corpses, even devouring parts of themselves in their funeral shrouds, and to grow in strength as they do so until they inevitably prey on the living. The creature known as the Nachzehrer can grow up to 2 times as it gorges itself on a corpse, and it's not shy of cannibalizing its own kind. Each time it does so, it increases in size and strength significantly. At its largest, when it becomes a hulking behemoth of gray flesh, it gains the ability to swallow a man whole. Welcome, everyone, to a D&D 5e conversion of the Nachzehrer, a beast found in the excellent turn-based strategy game Battle Brothers. The Nachzehrer, or Nacho, as I will be calling it, is a fantastic low to mid-level enemy for 5e combat. They roam in large packs of around 8 to 12 and start off as relatively weak, but unaware PCs will soon learn that the Nachos have not bitten off more than they can swallow. The small Nacho is pretty weak at CR1, but that's intentional to the encounter's design. With only 24 hit points and a 13 armor class, small Nachos would die in about 3 to 4 hits from level 1 PCs. I threw 10 Nachos at my 5th level party, and our cleric fireballed 5 of them on turn 1. Nachos are quick creatures, and their low intelligence means that they will run right into the PCs. Again, this is intentional to the encounter, as the PCs will kill those first beasts just in time for the latter ones to cannibalize their friends' corpses. However, Nachzehrs are not undead, and they do have some semblance of morale, so they will attempt to flee if being heavily beaten and if they're not engaged in melee. With pack tactics, even small Nachos will be annoying to high AC heroes. They don't do a whole lot of damage with their claws, but the feature that players will soon worry about is Gruesome Feast. If the Nachzehrer moves no more than 10 feet on its turn, it can consume a corpse that it is standing on. The feasting Nachzehrer grows in size, if possible, improves its morale, removes all status effects, and heals up to max HP. The medium Nacho should worry low-level PCs, but on its own it still isn't a huge threat to even level 4 to 5 heroes. Its AC has increased to 15, and its HP increased to 56, which it is now at if recently feasted. Note that medium Nachos will begin with the feasted ability, granting them advantage against being frightened. The medium Nachzehrer has an increased strength and constitution, but a lower dexterity. It now makes 3 claw attacks per turn, doing slightly more damage than it did as a wee Nacho. Other than that, the medium Nachzehrer is about as interesting as the small one, but once it feasts again, we get to the real fun. The big Nachzehrer is truly a sight to behold. With 80 hit points and 17 AC, this monstrosity won't go down even to a Channel Divinity max damage fireball. You can ask that cleric. And don't forget that it can still use Gruesome Feast to regain full hit points. The damage from its claws has increased substantially to an average of 15 damage per swing. However, the far more scarier action is Swallow Whole. If the Nachzehrer has not moved on its turn, it can swallow whole one enemy within 5 feet of it. The target takes 4d4 acid damage, but it cannot drop below 1 HP. If the target has been swallowed for at least 1 hour, it takes an additional 8d4 acid damage, which can bring them below 1 HP. While swallowed, the target is paralyzed. Upon the death of the Nachzehrer, the target can be pulled out of the body. This ability can be jarring to some. It removes a PC from the board with no check, save, or a way to get them back short of killing the Nacho. However, it's easy to avoid, as the Nachzehrer cannot move on the same turn as it swallows somebody. A mere shove attack renders the Nacho unable to swallow you. But Swallow Whole is what this whole fight is about. Now it's not just about killing some beasts, it's about positioning, preserving the action economy, and possibly saving a PC from being devoured in ghoul stomach acid. Anyone who has played Battle Brothers knows exactly what I'm talking about. When my Nachzehrer encounter started, I had any proficient PCs roll Nature or Survival. At DC 10 was the first descriptor paragraph from the beginning of this video, and DC 15 was the second. DC 20 would have been me going, "They love to eat corpses, guys." But no one got that. You should do this, so that the party has an idea of how these monsters will act. For the calculation of loot and XP, keep track of what each size Nacho was killed at. This is the XP value that the heroes will get at the end, and it will hopefully be different than the sizes that you started with. Each size 2 and 3 Nachzehrer has a 20% chance to drop growth pearls. I use growth pearls as a treasure item, worth 65 gold pieces, but you can make it a consumable for HP, increased strength, or even as the enlarge spell. Additionally, if you have your Nachzehrers eating corpses in a graveyard, drop some loot from an exposed coffin. There's lots more you can do in this area. I use Nachzehers as a traveling encounter, but we can quickly create some scenarios in which you'd find them in your setting. Taking from Battle Brothers, your band of heroes arrives in the village of Gothmund, looking for work. In the town hall is Brother Volmar, crying to the mayor that he swears that he saw monsters eating bodies in the church graveyard. Volmar turns to the party and begs that they check what's desecrating the church's land. Or, how about the party is spending some downtime in the hamlet Strand? Farmers are reporting that livestock are missing, but hey, there's wolves in your setting. A missing cow is nothing to bother the heroes with. But what about when a farmer and his son don't come back after a night of watching their pastures? What could have happened to those two grown men? In any case, I wish you luck in using Nachzehers in your D&D future. If your group enjoys strategic combat, these monsters do a great job where wolves or zombies just fall short. And if you haven't played Battle Brothers, do check it out. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Regardless, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.